Chapter 1. There was a wise man, a great craftsman, and the Lord bestowed his love upon him and received him, so that he might witness the highest dwellings of the greatest, wisest, and unchanging realms of the Almighty, the most marvelous, glorious, and radiant stations of the many-eyed servants of the Lord, the inaccessible throne of the Lord, the ranks and manifestations and incorporeal hosts, the ineffable ministry and the multitude of elements, the various appearances and the indescribable song of the hosts of the cherubim, and the infinite light. At that time he said, When I had completed 165 years, I begot my son Methuselah. After that I lived 200 years, and altogether my life was 365 years. On the first day of the first month, I was alone in my house, resting on my bed when I fell asleep. And while I was asleep, a great sorrow came upon my heart, and I wept in my sleep, and I could not understand what sorrow it was or what was about to happen to me. Then 2 men appeared to me, extraordinarily great, such as I had never seen before on earth. Their faces shone like the sun, and their eyes were like flames. From their lips came song and fire, varied and violet in appearance. Their wings were brighter than gold, and their hands whiter than snow. They stood at the head of my bed, and began calling me by name. I awoke, and clearly saw those 2 men standing before me. I greeted them, and was overcome with fear, and my countenance changed because of terror, and the men said, Take courage, Enoch, do not be afraid. The eternal God has sent us to you, and behold, today you shall ascend with us into the heavens, and you shall tell your sons and all your household what they must do in the house during your absence from the earth, and let them not seek you until the Lord returns you to them. And I did not delay in obeying them. I left my house as I had been commanded, called my sons Methuselah, Regem, and Gadad, and told them all the wonders that those men had spoken to me. Chapter 2. Hear me, my sons. I do not know where I am going or what will become of me. Nevertheless, I say to you, do not turn away from God to vain idols, which did not create heaven and earth, for they shall perish together with those who worship them. May the Lord make you steadfast in your hearts in the fear of him. And now, my sons, do not let anyone think of seeking me until the Lord returns me to you. Chapter 3. It came to pass that after Enoch had spoken with his sons, the angels took him on their wings to the first heaven and placed him upon the clouds. There I looked again higher up, and saw the ether, and they placed me in the first heaven and showed me a great sea, greater than the sea on earth. Chapter 4. They brought before me the elders and the rulers of the stellar orders, and showed me 200 angels who direct the stars and their functions in the heavens. And they flew with their wings, and all those who journey appeared. Chapter 5. Then I looked down and saw the treasuries of snow and the angels who guard their terrible storehouses. And I saw the clouds that come forth from there and where they go. Chapter 6. They showed me the treasury of dew, like olive oil in appearance, and its form, as well as all the flowers of the earth. Moreover, the many angels who guard the treasury of these things, and how they open and close it. Chapter 7. And those men took me and led me to the second heaven, and showed me darkness, darker than that of the earth. And I saw prisoners bound and guarded, awaiting the great and endless judgment. These angels were dark, darker than the darkness of the earth, and they caused them to weep continually without ceasing. And I said to the men who were with me, Why are they being tormented without end? They answered me, These are the unfaithful to God, who did not obey the commandments of God, but followed their own counsel and went with their prince, who is also bound in the fifth heaven. I felt great pity for them, and they greeted me and said, Man of God, pray for us to the Lord. And I answered them, Who am I, a mortal man, that I should pray for angels? Who knows where I am going and what will become of me? Or who will pray for me? Chapter 8. Then those men took me and led me to the third heaven and placed me there. And I looked down and saw the products of that place, things never before known. I saw the sweetest flowering trees, and looked at their fruits and the food they produced, and all exhaled the sweetest fragrances. And in the midst of those trees stood the tree of life, in the place where God rests when he goes into paradise. And this tree is of an ineffable quality and fragrance, more adorned than anything that exists. On every side it is like gold and cinnabar and fire, and it covers all things, and there is benefit from all its fruits. Its root is in the garden, at the end of the earth, and paradise lies between corruption and incorruption, and from its springs flow honey and milk, and from its streams come oil and wine, and they divide into 4 parts and go to the paradise of Eden, between corruption and incorruption. And from there they go to the earth, making a circuit in their course, and transforming even into other elements. And here there is no tree without fruit, and the whole place is blessed. And there are 300 very bright angels who guard the garden, and with unceasing sweet song and voices that never fall silent, they serve the Lord at every hour and every day. And I said, "How delightful this place is!" And those men said to me, Chapter 9, "This place, O Enoch, is prepared for the righteous, who abstain from every form of offense arising from those who provoke their souls, who keep their eyes from iniquity and render just judgments, who bring bread to the hungry and clothe the naked, who raise up those who have fallen, who help the orphans, who walk blamelessly before the Lord and serve him alone. And for these this place is prepared as an eternal inheritance." Chapter 10, "And those 2 men took me and led me toward the north, and they showed me a terrible place where there were all kinds of torments, oppressive darkness and gloom, with no light there, but a dark fire constantly burning above. And there was a river of fire flowing, and everywhere there was fire, and everywhere there was frost and ice, thirst and trembling, while the punishments were exceedingly cruel. Fearsome and merciless angels carried terrible weapons and inflicted dreadful tortures. And I said, "Woe, woe! How terrible is this place!" And those men said to me, "This place, O Enoch, is prepared for those who dishonor God, who on earth practice sins against nature, who corrupt children through sodomy, who engage in demonic sorcery and enchantments, and for those who proclaim their evil deeds, theft, lies, slander, envy, hatred, fornication, murder, and for those who, being cursed, steal the souls of men, who, seeing the poor, deprive them of their possessions, who, being able to satisfy the needy, allow the hungry to perish, who, being able to clothe others, strip the naked, and those who did not acknowledge their Creator, but bowed down to lifeless gods that can neither see nor hear, vain gods, and who fashioned images with great labor and bowed before unclean works. For all these, this place is prepared among the other places as an eternal inheritance." Chapter 11, "Those men took me and led me to the 4th heaven, and showed me the successive events and all the rays of the light of the sun and the moon. And I measured their movements and compared their lights, and I saw that the light of the sun is greater than that of the moon. Their cycle and their courses, in which they continually move, are like a wind of marvelous speed, and day and night pass swiftly. Their passage and return are accompanied by 4 great stars, and each star has under its authority 1,000 other stars on the right side of the sun's course, and 4 on the left, each having authority over 1,000 stars, making 8,000 in all, continually following the sun. By day 15 myriads of angels attend him, and by night 1,000. And 6 winged beings go before the course of the sun with the angels in its flaming fire, and 100 angels kindle the sun. Chapter 12, "And I looked and saw other flying creatures of the sun, whose names are Phoenixes and Chalkydri, wonderful and magnificent, with feet and tails like those of a lion, heads like crocodiles, and an appearance scarlet like the rainbow. Their size is 900 measures. Their wings are like those of angels, each having 12, and they serve and accompany the sun, giving heat and dew as God has commanded them. Thus the sun turns and goes and rises beneath the earth, and its course runs under the earth with the unceasing light of its rays. Chapter 13. These men took me toward the east and placed me at the gates of the sun, to which the sun proceeds according to the regulation of the seasons and the cycle of the months of the whole year, and according to the number of hours of day and night. And I saw 6 open gates, each measuring 61 stadia and a quarter of a stadium, and I truly measured them and understood the reason for their great size, through which the sun proceeds westward, balancing itself and rising throughout all the months, and returning again through the 6 gates according to the succession of the seasons. Thus the period of a complete year is fulfilled after the return of the 4 seasons. Chapter 14. Once again those men led me to the western regions, and showed me 6 great gates corresponding to the gates of the east, opposite to them, where the sun sets according to the number of days, 365 1/4. Thus it rises again, goes to the western gates, and withdraws its light, the greatness of its splendor, and goes beneath the earth, while the crown of its brightness remains in heaven with the Lord, guarded by 400 angels. The sun travels in its orbit beneath the earth, and remains there for 7 hours of the night, passing half its course beneath the earth. Then it comes from the eastern side in the 8th hour of the night, bringing its light, the crown of its brightness, and the sun blazes more fiercely than fire. Chapter 15. Then the creatures of the sun, called Phoenixes and Chalkydri, burst forth into song. Consequently every bird beat its wings, rejoicing in the one who gives birth to the day, and they broke into singing at the command of the Lord. The bringer of dawn comes to give light to the whole world, and the morning sentinel takes shape, which is the rays of the sun, and the sun of the earth rises, and the earth receives the brightness that illuminates it entirely. And they showed me the calculations of the sun's path, and the gates through which it enters are the great gates for calculating the hours of the year. Therefore the sun is a great creation, whose cycles last 28 years before beginning again from the start. Chapter 16. Those men showed me another course, that of the moon, 12 great gates extending from west to east, through which the moon comes and goes at its appointed times. It enters through the first gate on the western side of the sun, through the first gate for exactly 31 days, through the second gate for exactly 31 days, through the third gate for exactly 31 days, through the fourth gate for exactly 31 days, through the fifth gate for exactly 31 days, through the sixth gate for exactly 31 days, through the seventh gate for exactly 31 days, through the eighth gate for exactly 31 days, through the ninth gate for exactly 31 days, through the 10th gate for exactly 31 days, through the 11th gate for exactly 31 days, and through the 12th gate for exactly 28 days. And it travels through the western gate according to the order and number of the eastern gate, and completes the 365 1/4 days of the solar year, while the lunar year has 354 days, lacking 12 days of the solar cycle, which are the lunar phases of 1 year. Thus also the great cycle amounts to 532 years. 1/4 of a day is omitted for 3 years, and in the 4th year it is completed exactly. Therefore these fractions are removed from heaven for 3 years, and are not added to the number of days, because they would add 2 extra months to a year by excess, and remove 2 others by deficiency. And when the western gates are completed, it returns and goes eastward toward the light, and thus it travels through the heavenly cycles day and night, lower than all the other cycles, faster than the winds of heaven, with spirits and elements and flying angels. Each angel has 6 wings. Chapter 17. In the midst of the heavens I saw armed soldiers serving the Lord with timbrels and organs, with unceasing voices, with sweet voices, with sweet and unceasing voices, and various songs that are impossible to describe. and which astonish every mind because of how magnificent and wonderful the song of those angels is. And I was delighted as I listened to it.